For me, kayak fishing is simple. A boat, a paddle, a fishing rod, and unspoiled water. The fish are big. The chaos is beautiful. It's angling's addictive final frontier, and I'm hooked. I'm Gregory, and this is Hooked on Wild Waters.
Gregory's Hooked on Wild Waters has been brought to you by Jackson Kayak. We make fun. Z-Man Lures, the science and art of fishing. Smith Optics. Smith is fishing.
I'm so excited to be back here, Season 5, Hooked on Wild Waters. I'm going to Panacea, Florida. It's going to be an incredible time catching trout, redfish, who knows what. I mean, the flats here are so fertile, so healthy. I'm actually going to be fishing out of a cool, very cool new product that Jackson Kayak makes called the Blue Sky Boatworks Angler 360, and I'm testing out a prototype of the new E-Drive. So it's really cool. It's basically a little motor that can help get me out there even further to find even more remote fish in wild waters. I'm so glad to be out here today with Robert Baker. This is the man. If you come to the Wakulla County area, you gotta hook up with this guy. He can take you on guided fishing adventures. We've been on tons of adventures together in this area.
Sure have.
And had a lot of good times. This is obviously a place I've come for a while, which is why I wanted to come back here and share this wild adventure with you guys. Today, we're gonna take a trip of our own and tell me about the area, where we're at, and what we're gonna catch.
Yeah, today we're in Panacea. We're gonna catch redfish and trout here in Dickerson Bay.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's get out there, let's quit wasting time, and let's do it. We're getting off to a little bit of a later start, but on purpose, because Robert's got a cool pattern he's found where the fish are really getting up into the grass. So we need that high tide to kind of push in, so they're in that grass, and then we'll parallel the grass lines and hopefully get into some nice redfish or trout. One thing we have going for us is that we're actually in our Flex Drive boats. Robert's in the Cruise FD by Jackson Kayak, and I am in the Angler 360 by Blue Sky Boatworks. So with this E-Drive and with his pedal drive, we can get out there even further into more wild and remote waters that maybe other people haven't fished. One strategy whenever you're fishing far away is to actually paddle or motor all the way to your location and then kind of drift and work your way back. And that's what Robert's doing. He's pretty disciplined, he's way ahead of me, but I really can't help myself. I see some creek mouths, I see wind blowing against it real hard. I better make a few casts. And of course, right off the bat, bang, fish on. Hey, I may never see Robert today is what I'm thinking, because I have to make a few more casts now that I've found fish. I can't leave them, right? It's a redfish. All right, here we go. I got her. She's close to coming in. Oh, dang, she's so strong. She's got a bright red tail too, or blue tail, I mean. There she goes. Oh, there we go, yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. Fishing while you're moving. Let's check out this guy. God, what a cool fish, man. I can clearly see the benefits of this E-Drive already as I'm just kind of making my way down the bank and across this bay in a day that's pretty windy, and most people couldn't get out here with just a paddle. I'm able to not just get out here, but fish while I'm out here, just paralleling the grass lines with the spinnerbait, burning it fast, and of course, get this awesome redfish to start the day. What a way to start the day. I can't wait to see what's ahead. After catching that fish with just a few casts, honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna see Robert today. I may have found the pattern already. They're on the windblown banks, right at creek mouths, and I can't help it. I throw a cast over there right at this creek mouth, and I'm just sort of almost trolling this Z-Man diesel spin, and sure enough, bam, another fish hits, a slot size red. Fish on, baby. It's cool because fish bite better sometimes on windy days, but it's just hard to get out there. But the E-Drive is making it possible for me today. They're just all pushing this windy bank too. About the same size as that last one, it looks like. Come on. There we go, yes. All right, baby. That's two already, we just got started. This is incredible, man. Wild waters fishing, baby. Woo! We're so much further than most people get out here too. Unpressured fish. It's not a giant, but look at the beautiful tail. And look how turquoise that is. It's a really cool, aspect of the redfish. Some people say, I don't know if it's a wives' tail or what, but it might actually be when they're feeding. So, hey, it holds true today. So let's put this one back so we can get back out there and find a big one that's feeding. One of the hidden gems of the Panacea area is actually a place called the Gulf Specimen Lab. They do so much there for conservation, for education, and I had to stop in and see what was going on because I've learned as we've gotten older, the more I learn about the environment, the habitat, the entire ecosystem that the fish live in, the better angler I'll become. So I stopped in and talked to Cypress, and trust me, this guy knows everything about these fish.
Well, Gulf Specimen is a unique facility. It was founded over 50 years ago by our founder, Jack Rudloe. And over the years, we've been able to evolve to go and become more of an aquarium. We do about 50,000 school kids through our facility every year, but we still have the fundamental core, which is where we go out and we collect different animals for different universities, different professors. In fact, we sell these animals to the majority of the university throughout the United States, and this is all for educational and research purposes. One of the things really cool about Gulf Specimen is that we are not SeaWorld. In fact, we do not focus on the big sharks and the big whales. We focus on little invertebrates. And for fishing, this is kind of great because these little invertebrates, there'll be starfish, crabs, stuff like that, little worms. You'll get to see kind of what your fish, like your redfish, are eating out there in the wild. You'll get to see them in the habitats. We kind of make our tanks simulate the ocean as much as possible, but you got to understand, no one animal like a redfish feeds on just, say, shrimp. They're feeding on shrimp, crabs, worms, little tinier fish. So the key is to show how diverse the food web is. If you learn what that animal you're fishing for feeds in, what habitat it likes, you're gonna be a better angler at the end of the day.
It was so cool to hear about all the research and the work that the Gulf Specimen Lab is doing with the state and the researchers and biologists. What I really found interesting was actually all the children that were there, and they got a chance to see, touch, and actually feel all these incredible creatures and learn that they're super special and cool and not harmful. And they're really getting a passion for wild waters and falling in love with the outdoors. If you're ever in Panacea, Florida, you better not miss the chance to stop by and check out the Gulf Specimen Lab. It's taken me a little while, but I've finally caught up to Robert. And now I don't feel so bad, because as I catch up to him, I actually see him reeling in this nice trout. He's on some fish too, so we're both having a great day out here in Panacea. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Man, this is a beautiful speckled trout here. Caught it on top water. Excellent fight, pulling some drag. This is just a beautiful fish, well over 20 inches. So we're gonna release this fish and go catch some more. And she swims off. Beautiful.
The cool thing about small boats like this is you can actually get so tight to the bank. And when you do that, it allows you to sort of make a cast parallel with the grass. And when you do that, you're basically front-ending someone you're fishing with. So Robert and I had a great strategy. He's gonna stay off a little bit and just throw random topwaters for the trout, because they'll hide and hang out really in the deeper water sometimes, in the channels and just little sandy spots in between the oyster beds. And he's just sort of fan casting for them. And I'm actually paralleling the grass for the redfish. It's a nice just bang bang setup we had going down the bank. I hook up with another fish in my exact same pattern, right at the creek mouth, in the wind, spinnerbait, my favorite way to fish, fast and furious. I knew there'd be more here. They always stick together. It's not a giant. I think it's a red. I just assume it's a red. It is. She's not a giant. Just gonna land her with the hand and try to put her back real quick and get more. Since they all hang out together, I just want to get this one back quick. And daylight's running out. I'm catching lots of fish, but if we want to get one last good fish, we got to make it happen and make it happen soon. For those of you that follow along with my adventures, you probably noticed I do enjoy fishing tournaments here and there. I'm involved in the kayak bass fishing tournaments. I used to run the river bass and tournament trail. It's just so cool that we have a way to catch and release fish right then and there in these tournaments, which is so eco-friendly and good for the fish. Well, there's actually a really cool tournament that goes on every year in Panacea, Florida. It's called Rock the Dock. And they've got so many cool divisions and ways you can win prizes and just have a good time. I'm gonna let Robert Baker tell you a little bit more.
It's great to be a part of the Rock the Dock kayak fishing tournament. It's the last weekend every April. It's a big party. We have a great time. It's lots of people here. We got inshore, offshore kayak divisions, ladies divisions, youth divisions. It's just a really big fun party that we all get together and just have a great time fishing, sharing stories. The cool thing about this tournament, it's to help raise money for youth scholarships to go to college. So come out and join us. It's a great time.
You know, in true Hooked on Wild Waters fashion, we need to make a fish bite at the last minute. The sunset is probably as beautiful as I've ever seen. I'm looking over at it, distracted, and all of a sudden I hear Robert yell, and he's got a fish on. A trout smashed his topwater. And as I'm looking at him, all of a sudden my rod just doubles over. Our strategy's worked out perfectly. I'm in the grass catching reds, he's catching the trout amongst this beautiful sunset. Could not be a better way to close out this day. They're just smashing this spinnerbait here. It's a pretty good one. Come on. Oh yeah! All right, woohoo! That's Hooked on Wild Waters right there. What a day. Check this out, Robert. Another decent red here.
Man, this is a beautiful trout here on the Forgotten Coast. This thing's getting tired, so I'm gonna do a release.
What a beautiful way to end the day, getting this gorgeous redfish right at sunset. You can clearly see this area is unique and it's special. If you ever come to Panacea, you've got to catch these fish. The redfish, the trout have been amazing. The animals we've seen, and of course, visiting the Gulf Specimen Lab, you can clearly see all these things wrapped up together and why I'm hooked on wild waters.
Drew Gregory's Hooked on Wild Waters has been brought to you by Powerpole Shallow Water Anchors, Swift, Silent, Secure, Ray Marine, specialists in marine electronics, Yak Attack, rigging the dream, Bending Branches, pretty, smart paddles, Orion Coolers, never lose your cool, 13 Fishing, make your own luck, Tennessee Trailers, the only name to have behind you.